Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Headlines, where we round up the week's most interesting news stories for all of you. The world has evolved quite a bit since we last met, but given the current situation, it probably makes the most sense to start off with the latest updates on COVID 19. The Tokyo Olympics have been postponed. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe came out with sad but necessary news on the 24th of March after a long drawn phone call with Thomas Bach, the chairman of the International Olympics Committee, also known as the IOC. Abe declared that the 2020 Tokyo Summer Olympic Games were to be postponed until summer 2021, the latest. Abe took into consideration the complaints of thousands of athletes from across the world who claim that the current circumstances made it almost impossible for them to train. In countries like Italy, Spain, and even the United States, Olympic competitors weren't allowed to leave their houses. Sprinters and runners had to rely solely on indoor training, practicing exercises like running on the spot. Meanwhile, all athletes in the trampoline section of the Olympics are probably binge watching Netflix while eating Doritos. Yes, trampolining is actually an Olympic sport that needs really high ceilings, best not done at home. Japan also declared a state of emergency in the country earlier last week. On the celebrity side of things, quite a few prominent figures have been tested positive for the coronavirus, including Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson, Kevin Durant, Pink, and Idris Elba. The fact that the coronavirus has been able to infect even Idris Elba shows just how widespread and serious the virus is. You would think that the man who single handedly fought off Hobbs and Shaw, destroyed kaijus in the Pacific Ocean, and pulled through acting in one of the most horrible movies of the decade would be able to fight the virus, but sadly, that isn't the case. Some politicians have also been tested positive for the coronavirus as well. Jair Bolsonaro, the president of Brazil, Peter Dutton, the HA Minister of Australia, and Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of the UK. It looks like Mr. Johnson must have forgotten the lyrics to the Happy Birthday song. Finally, how have governments coped with COVID 19 so far? The Hong Kong government, for one, has stated that all social gatherings that include 4 people or more are banned and punishable should they occur. Anyone coming into Hong Kong from abroad has to go through a mandatory 14-day home quarantine. Some people even have to go through government quarantine too. In Britain, people were told to leave their homes only in limited circumstances. Gatherings of more than 2 people were banned. All non essential businesses, pubs, and restaurants were ordered shut. In America, most states went into shutdown. A sensible decision, but of course, President Trump stated that it would be better if Americans came out and enjoyed the fresh spring air of April. Luckily, Mr. Trump also made the decision to prevent the federal government from making lockdown decisions, instead allowing respective states to decide how they wanted to proceed with their regulations to combat COVID 19. In India, the government abruptly declared a 3-week lockdown on the 25th of March. No one's allowed to leave their homes for 21 days. The situation is so intense here that I've been watching Breaking Bad just to chill. But, of course, there are some people who've taken things into their own hands in India and have gone out and partied on the streets in favor of social distancing. On the plus side, there have been various support and stimulus programs started up by charity groups all over the world to help people cope with COVID 19. In Hong Kong, for example, a charity called Simply Giving strives to help people who've lost their jobs because of COVID 19, as well as homeless persons who are at a high risk from contracting the virus. Prosecutors in Turkey charged 20 Saudi citizens with the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. A former advisor to the royal family and a former deputy head of intelligence were accused of instigating the killing, the rest for carrying it out. Khashoggi was a Saudi critic who worked as a journalist and columnist for the Washington Post. He was suspiciously killed in the Saudi Arabian embassy in Turkey in 2018. CCTV cameras showed Khashoggi entering the embassy but never departing from it. You know, like Asian parents walking into a Princeton Review bookshop or Indian moms walking into the grocery store. They enter, but they never come out. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, was under fire for the incident but denied all allegations. The sentencing of the 20 Saudi citizens for the murder of Khashoggi, according to various news sources, digs away from the key question: who ordered Khashoggi's death in the first place? Over to the United States, where senior intelligence officer Michael Atkinson was fired by President Trump for being a key instigator of Trump's impeachment trial. Trump has said that he no longer has confidence or faith in Mr. Atkinson, who alerted Congress about a potential scandal between Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. Now, Democrats are saying that Trump is being unreasonable in the face of a crisis, what with the United States being in the lead in terms of the country with the highest number of coronavirus cases, but I'm not buying any of those statements for a hot second. I think that Mr. Trump just fires people as a way to calm his nerves during tense situations like the coronavirus. He fired Steve Bannon, the chief strategist, in August 2017, the same month when North Korea USA tensions started piling up, and he fired Joe Hagan, his deputy chief of staff, when the trade war began. But you know what Mr. Trump wasn't doing when he was focused on firing Mr. Atkinson? Dealing with the coronavirus. And that is a blessing in disguise. Because Mr. Trump is the man who calls COVID kofifi and believes that social distancing means going out and having fun with your friends, enjoying the fresh spring air. Frankly, the less time he spends talking about COVID 19, the better, in all of our interests. And finally, some good news for all of you in this time of despair is literally coming from a new YouTube channel called Some Good News. John Krasinski is the host of a new show on YouTube bearing the name SGN. Krasinski is a world famous actor, known especially for his role as Jim in The Office America and Jack Ryan in the Amazon Prime special Jack Ryan by Tom Clancy. His new show covers a vast array of news topics that bring good news to the world around. Hats off to that, because it's an especially difficult feat given the state of our world in general. Nevertheless, the show does have a fair share of reels that are sure to brighten up your day. It's definitely a YouTube channel that deserves a like and a subscribe. After Young Post, of course. That's all for this week. I'll see you next time on Headlines.